Hey there. Happy Sunday of July 4th weekend. Hope you're enjoying some family time. Hope you're enjoying some time with your friends, be it barbecue, be it traveling, whatever it is. I hope you're having a great, safe July 4th weekend. All right, so it is Sunday, and it is time for part two of the Jason Roemer interview here on our Texas High School Volleyball Coaches interviews in concert with Texas Girls Coaches Association. That would be TGCA. Yesterday, Jason talked a lot about what TGCA does and what his role in various roles with TGCA, what they've accomplished. Today, we're going to talk about Fredericksburg and more about his coaching career and what he sees for the Fredericksburg Baton Billies, as well as previous experiences. And we pick it up this morning as I had left you with a teaser of a question, what's been my theme question for coaches in these interviews. We learned a lot during the 2020 pandemic season. And does Jason think that we carried over some good things, some positives, with what we learned from that 2020 season? And once again, I'll remind you right there, follow us on social media. We also have an Instagram account. We'd appreciate you following us as we do more interviews and we start ramping up for fall action and festivities. So, again, enjoy your July 4th weekend, and here's part two of our interview with Jason Roemer.
The one good thing I thought came out of that was covering state that year. Coaches were saying it's so nice. It's so weird because my girls aren't as beat up as they usually are. You know, there's not a lot of bruises and nicks that they're, trying to overcome and whatever. And I always thought, okay, well, maybe that's going to lead to a trend where they start getting a little bit more time off. And boy, was I ever wrong. Give me your perspective on that whole situation and where we are today.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot of this, and like I told you earlier, we're right in the middle of the change. We're right in the middle of figuring out what the new norm is going to be, and that cliche is thrown out way too much. I'm getting, we're all getting sick and tired of it, but it is what it is. It is we've evolved to this new norm. I have this year in Fredericksburg, we have a real heavy senior laden team. We bring pretty much everyone back except a libero. And so these seniors, when I came back to Fredericksburg, they were freshmen my first year. And so that March you're talking about, that spring, they missed 11 weeks of off season. From spring break when COVID hit, they missed half of March, all of April and all of May with us, and then the summer. And so and they missed half their club season, like you talked of that was such a crucial time in their development. As you look at development of volleyball players across their career, that's a huge time. It's just, I think, our game is in a great spot. But I think it really affected some of those kids. Now, when we come out of COVID, we now are UIL gave us this 2 hours a week to work with kids on skills in the summer. And that's where I feel like we're at a spot now where everyone is trying to find out what the new norm is going to be and how to use it for the betterment of these kids. We're doing last year we could only get 2 hours a week with the kids, and now it's 1 hour every day. And so we're doing 5 o'clock hitting sessions with the hitters. We're doing 6 o'clock speed and strength. We got 7:30 liberos for an hour. And then on Thursday, we all come together. And so is that too much? Is that enough? We finished 4th in district last year, and we used that time last year in the summer, and we finished 4th in district. So my mindset was, we got to do more this year. We got to get better through those sessions. And so we broke it up. The kids are still working out an hour, but it's more of a personalized to their skill that they're working on. And so it's been really good as we go through 3 weeks, but man, who's going to burn out more, the player or the coach? And as the great resignation that's going on in our economy, we're really lucky in Fredericksburg that we have a full girl staff, but there's a lot of girl coaches. There's a lot of girl programs that don't have coaches. And so, Dr. Bryden and I were just talking about this a few weeks ago at Legislative Council is so we're short coaches, but yet now we're telling coaches, hey, come work for us for 52 weeks out of the year.
Yeah.
And so and some districts pay summer work and some don't. And it's, the kids are feeling the same thing. I have kids apologizing. I had a kid apologizing to me last night because she had to go, her mom wanted her to go eat dinner last night instead of do her hour libero session with us because dad was out of town for Father's Day. And so it was a Father's Day dinner. And so she felt terrible about missing. And, I had to pat her on the back and say, hey, it's going to be okay. Go. It's important to spend that family time. So us coaches are obligated to do more. The kids are obligated to do more. The programs that have kids this week playing in Orlando or playing in Indianapolis at the national tournament for club, it's next week they get back. It's the first week of July. So their high school coach is saying, we got 4 weeks before season. We got to go. And then the club coaches are saying tryouts. So is it better? We'll see. I mean, I've already, and as we've talked about the gauntlet of what August volleyball is for high school, we really have to be careful about burnout of players, burnout of coaches, the physicality. That's the mental side of it. The physical part of how much are they jumping, how much keeping them healthy, because you got to be healthy if you want to win a Saturday regional tournament. You got to be healthy. So there's a lot of balances, but it has changed. We used to we couldn't do anything with the kids in the summertime. When I started coaching, we opened the gym and some kids came and touched and we sat in the corner and read a book and watched, and that was it. And, then we could work them out in the weight room. And that you got to be on top of that because you can tear a kid up before they get to August.
Right.
So we're in the middle of all of this. And, as Sam Tipton says, we're coaches. If you give us more, if you give us this much, the coaches in the state of Texas are trying to gain an advantage to get that much. And so, we were all excited to get our kids more in the summer. But is that better for the game? Is that better for the coaches and the players? And we won't know the answer until I'm retired and old and go, God, I wish we should have done that different. I mean, that's just the nature. That's human nature. But we're figuring that stuff out. It's the whole UIL thing is interesting to me too because it's changed. The basketball coaches now this weekend today, the boys basketball coaches are coaching their own kids in a tournament in Dallas if they choose to. The NCAA is allowed and the UIL allowed them, and so it's the more we allow, the more coaches are taking and using, and that's good. But there is a balance, and it's these kids are playing at like I said, these kids are playing at a really, really high level. And our game is a game of skill, finesse, but yet there's some power involved as athleticism as well. But we have the more a kid plays, the better they are, the better they get. But where's the line is too much. And but the kids keep coming. The kids, we had 33 kids yesterday in the gym. And so, yeah. And, there's a lot of kids from Texas playing in Indianapolis at the Junior Olympics this week, which is a phenomenal experience and a great experience for those families. So, UIL is allowing us to do this, and I think as coaches we have to be really smart as to figuring out what is the best way to do it. And who knows what is the right way. But back to your question of that COVID thing, it changed us, and as you and I talked earlier, to me, one of the big things coming out of COVID also from the player and the development of the player, but the game. Are we going to go back to switching sides, which is, to me, is rooted in the history of the game.
Sure.
And it's sports, football, they switch at halftime. Basketball, you switch baskets at halftime. And this is one of the things when you ask the coaches, I think it's an age thing, but I may be proven wrong. Most of the young coaches don't take offense to that. They want to stay on the same side. Us older coaches who more experienced want to switch.
Right.
I coached in the Kerrville Tivy gym, where there's a stage on one side, and the old Tivy gym where there's a stage on one side and fans on one side, fans on the floor blowing all this hot air. And we would serve with the fans to start the game. And the fans were going so fast, you couldn't keep a ball in. And then we switched sides, Chuck, and the fans stopped. They would stop.
Oh, my Lord.
And
oh, my God.
And so that is an advantage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, and basketball coaches will tell you all about, if I only shoot at that basketball goal, if you and I are playing a basketball game and that's your goal for the whole game, that thing is going to be crooked. It's going to be so hard. It might be like going to play the free throw game at the carnival, right? Like you can't. Right. I mean, again, you give a coach this much, they're going to get close to that line. And so I think if we don't switch sides, sand volleyball, they switch sides because of the elements.
Sure.
Now, there are so many unbelievable gyms and facilities in the state of Texas that TGCA is, we've kind of said, it's 5A, 6A level, it's switching sides, not really a big deal. But you get down to 1A, 2A, and you get in these really unique buildings, and coaches are going to use it. And to what? To me, it's rooted in our game. We've always switched sides, but COVID caused us not to switch sides. And I'll tell you, I sometimes I like being with our outside hitters, where the bench is on the side with our outside hitters, the left side of the court. Our setter, sometimes, the coach the setter you may want to be with your setter. You may want to be on your setter side. My setter does not want to be on my side because I talk the whole game. And so, like that, there's another advantage that switching sides kind of neutralizes that.
Right.
And so I think we've all kind of gotten through club still does not switch sides. And there's a big debate there whether we will ever go back to switching sides. So to me, I'm a little bit of a traditionalist. I guess you could say I've done this long enough now that to me, I think we should be switching sides, and we don't know right now. It's kind of in limbo with whether National Federation rule is we switch sides, and that's the rule book we use. UIL was granted an exception that we could stay on the same side, and we may get that exception again, or we may go back to switching sides. So It's interesting. Those are the chess match things that happen in the game that you can tell I get a little fired up about, and I love the games.
That phone ringing behind you is somebody calling who's watching.
Probably.
You're talking about switch sides. Come on, man.
Yeah. And a lot of coaches feel like it's not a big deal. It's a small part of the game. It's not a really big deal. But you come in Fredericksburg High School. I've told Stephanie and the Wimberley coach, I said, get ready. Next year you come, you're going to play on that side. And I'm going to have lights up in the ceiling pointing. Every time your setter looks up to set a ball, she's going to be blinded. And she's like, you wouldn't do that. I said, nah.
So you don't know Jason Roemer.
If it helps us beat the Wimberley Texans, we might do that, right? So I think it's part of the game. it's a traditional part of the game is you switch sides. And I hope we go back to that.
Well,
There's my little soapbox.
Okay. And that's fine. And I agree. I'll give you a probably an over exaggerated comparison, but to me, I'm invested in both. I'm passionate about both. So this to me is the same thing. Next season, Major League Baseball will ban the shift. Baseball was never to be played with shift. Back to volleyball, you need to switch sides.
Yes.
It's the only way it should be. It's the way it started, and it needs to go back that way.
Well, and I don't think anyone has taken the rules to the extent of really gaining a huge advantage. But there are coaches out there that will, and I'm not saying anything bad about them, but that's gaining an advantage. And we play better on one side or the other. It's amazing though, Chuck, that last year when we were given a choice, I wanted to switch sides, and the kids were like, no, we like that side. We play better on that side. And again, that's, they're at the age where they don't know any difference or better, but it's a comfort. It's a comfort thing. And so it'll be interesting to see where we go. So you're saying that we're going to ban the shift in baseball.
Yes.
And what was it this week? They're not mudding the balls like they usually do.
Right.
Have you seen that? Like, and that's, it's gamesmanship. It's, and as I have been involved with TGCA, I have a lot of friends across the state that coach volleyball, and it's always fun to talk about things like that and network and figure out ways to gain advantage to win games. So fun.
Well, it's always fun to be with the TGCA group because it's not always about sports, girls sports, volleyball, and everything else. The conversations go diverse.
Yes.
And there's so much fun.
Yes.
And you look down and you realize you just spent an hour and a half talking about something that has nothing to do with anything what you're doing.
Yeah. The shift in baseball.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, so shout outs. People you want to say hello to, people you want to recognize. This is your 2 minutes to do it.
Oh, wow. Are we going to talk about volleyball at all, about the upcoming season at all?
Would you like to? We certainly can.
Yeah, I mean, as far as shout outs go, I mean, we've, like I said, I felt like we have put, the kids and I have put Fredericksburg volleyball. If for a Region 4 volleyball, I take pride in the fact that we've been in the mix, and we're one of the programs you have to worry about as far as for a Region 4 over the years. And like I said, I take a lot of pride in that. I try to teach that to the kids, and because we were the laughing stock of the region for years. And you talk about Title IX, and up until 1996 was when they started volleyball. And the district they were thrown into, Chuck, I think I've told you the story. Smithson Valley, New Braunfels Canyon, Kerrville, Tivy, and Alamo Heights.
Oh, is that all?
And Fredericksburg, right? That was the 6. And so we went. I'll never forget. This is one of the great stories that I can tell. My first district game in Fredericksburg. So we're year 2001. September of 2001. New Braunfels High had just won 4A state, and the old what now is 5A, and we go there to play a district game. My first district game in Fredericksburg, and we lose 15-1, 15-0. The match took 17 minutes.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and that was hard. That was really hard. The worst part of the night was we had pizza delivered, but the pizza wasn't coming. The pizza wasn't coming until 8:00. The match was at 7. It was over at 7:20.
Oh my!
So we had to wait on the bus. We were licking our wounds, and so you can tell I take great pride in the fact that our program is competitive, and I have used TGCA in a way to better myself as a coach. To learn through the summer clinics and satellite clinics and learn the game of volleyball and how to be a successful coach. And The kids play the game, and the shout out. I feel like we can never give enough shout out to the kids and the parents that are in our programs that work to make our program competitive, and the parents help to build a positive experience for our kids. And the assistant coaches I've had over the years have been great. And so, not only is the state of volleyball in Texas in a really good spot, I feel like our program is in a really good spot. As I told you, we'll shift now to next year. We have 5 seniors who have been with us for these 3 years since we came back, and they're seniors. And the seniors from Wimberley and the seniors from Bernie, they've all graduated. So I've been telling the kids, our rallying cry kind of this year is it's our turn. We're now the veteran team in district. The other teams in our district and in our region are going to reload, but 4A Region 4 was real senior driven last year. And so our senior class really was the libero last year. And so we're got to replace her, and it looks like we'll be good there. And so sky's the limit for our team. And 4A volleyball is you go back to your days in Liberty Hill when they were 4A.
Right.
Are they 6A yet?
Not yet. They're getting there. They're that close.
Yeah, but the classification of 4A, I was thinking about this morning of what you might want to talk about. To me, now I've coached it at 4A for so long. It is as we have talked. It's unique. It's a unique classification. It's small town, but yet you got the big town mix. The Lovejoys when they were 4A, and Melissa and Midlothian Heritage and Salina. Those new schools that come in, you got to compete with those, but yet you also have the small town feel as well, small school feel. So I've fallen in love with 4A athletics, where it's 1,000 students in the school. Everybody. The kids are multi-sport athletes, but yet to be competitive is really, really tough. And it's still about coaching. Our kids play club. Club volleyball has impacted our town, our program, without a doubt. I own a club here. We had 74 Fredericksburg kids from the 4th grade to the 11th grade playing this year. But we're a regional club. Our kids aren't playing. We have nobody playing in Orlando or Indianapolis this week. So it's a little bit of a small town feel to club volleyball, which is fun. I mean, I've coached the 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade group. And so I've really gotten to know those families, and, so you talk about it's the hometown, you get to know everybody, but we have to coach and develop our kids. we can't depend on the club volleyball system to do that. Now we're using that system to help us, but it's still about training and developing. And I really, really enjoy that part of volleyball, and seeing the light bulb go off on the kids and when they really get it. But it's still all about winning games on Tuesday and Friday nights. So,
well, this is where you gained experience as being a show host, to take a question and say, hey, wait a minute, we forgot about something. So drop into that. So I applaud you.
Oh, wow.
Very good. I didn't even think about it. We got so much, I got what I wanted answered.
Yeah.
But of course I would have wanted to talk volleyball. So
we're
seeing
it's June 24th, and we're 37 days away from August 1st. So it's
37 days away from August 1st.
Only 37 days. And we're about halfway. My wife reminded we're about almost halfway to where we're halfway through summer, which, us, my wife's an educator as well. We try to stretch that summer as long as we can, but yet the excitement when you're a volleyball, football, cross country coach, the excitement of starting a new season is unique and special as well. It's bittersweet. It's a double-edged sword, if you will. You want to prolong summer and enjoy all that time, but then we're itching to get going and start again. So here we go. Here comes August, right? Here comes August, and we'll play 40 matches. We'll play 40 matches before we get to September. So,
yep, bowling ball's back, ladies and gentlemen.
It's good. Yeah. Here we go.
Well, thanks for the time. We appreciate it. Always good to get your insight. Hopefully I'll see you up at the clinic in a couple weeks. Looking forward to that as well.
Yeah. As likewise, always, as you can tell, always enjoy talking to you, Chuck. And girls athletics. Here we go.